Good morning.
Good morning.
So, good morning. Miss Aarti, I would prefer you to use your laptop. Ms. Shampa, you also, because today we are going to have nearpod activity and you're going to find it very difficult. Okay? Yeah.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
yeah. So that's the reason actually we ask you to. Okay. Okay. Then can you just put it in your landscape mode, because at least the full screen will be available and you can use another another device for your nearpod activity. Revati and Aarti, I continuously see you using your mobiles. Okay. See, towards the end, what happens is you're not going to feel comfortable with the activities that you're doing. So that's the reason we request you to come with your laptops. Okay. Yeah. So we'll be starting today's session. So it will be quite a heavy session. So I request all of you to be alert and please make a note of it, because there is not going to be a repeat of what is being told here. And I see candidates struggling afterwards when we ask them to write based on reflection. Okay. So today's session is on reflective writing and journal writing, and henceforth the sessions, please try to attend. Okay. Do not miss any sessions. So moving into the feedback discussion, specifically, there were two feedback again on time. So I cannot consider the continuous queries on time, because all of us have a Sunday and 3 hours, I know, and houses, how difficult it is going to be sparing your Sunday 3 hours. So kindly do participate within the limited time that is provided to you. We will not be able to extend time. And as far as video showing, last time's video that was given, that was Hattie's video. So that's available in YouTube. You can go through. And I only wanted to stress on the point of what is essential in your classroom. So that's the reason I did not show you the full length video. You can anyway access it in your YouTube. Third part is giving one break instead of two breaks. Remember, ideally in a classroom also, the classroom is set for 40 minutes, though we have a 45-minute period. The reason is after every 30 to 40 minutes, our brain switches off. Okay, I understand you will have your personal commitments, but on Sundays, whenever you're having classes, please see that no, these are set before, and everything is set. Whoever has the concern about the kids and all that, everything is set in the dining table, so that as soon as you have break, you can open, hand it over to them, and you can come back to your place. Okay. So I prefer two breaks. The reason is I know that understanding will go haywire if it's a single break of 10 minutes. Okay. So any questions that you have till now on the course expectations? Anyone, any questions? There was one question which was how to create the drive. I'm sorry, this platform is not for teaching how to create the drive. You can contact your colleagues or your computer teacher and understand how exactly you have to create a folder in drive. We will not be guiding you in the technological aspect. Remember, that is the area that you will have to work on. Yes, portfolio wise, we will help you out because that's an entirely different platform. But in Google Drive, you will have to work with your colleagues and your workmates to get the understanding of how exactly Drive works. You can share it with me through OneDrive also, no issues. If you are working in a Microsoft 365 platform, fine, that also no issue. But Drive wise, you will have to put an effort to learn. Okay, because it doesn't stop with this course. That is the reason. Okay, so let us start today's session. So today's session, our focus areas will be Understanding reflective practice and its important theories in reflective practice, becoming a reflective practitioner, practice reflection through journal entries. Now, in this particular session, from henceforth, it's not only this particular session, henceforth, I request all of you, whenever you see an incident, start reflecting, because it is what that you practice makes you write things in a proper way. So notes you can make in your journal entries, but when you're looking at reflection, please do start reflecting in your minds so that that practice becomes imbibed in you. So this is why reflection. Why should we reflect? Yeah. Why should we reflect? So I'm going to give this as a group activity. So 3 groups will have. One is the resources given here. Second group will be reading the article on critical reflection that is given. Third group will be reading reflective teaching journal, the benefits of reflective teaching. So I'll share this with all of you. And group 1 will be doing the group 1 work. Group 2, the article reading. Group 3 will go through the journal. Okay, so you will get 15 minutes time to go through the different articles and journal. I'll also share it in the WhatsApp for all those who have the issue.
I'm sharing it, Sudha ma'am.
Okay, yeah, okay, it's not with me. Okay, fine.
The one you have posted in the chat box, no ma'am?
Yeah, because I'm not an admin in the group, so it doesn't come. Yeah, that one. Okay. So I'll give you the breakout room now. 15 minutes time is there. So you can work in groups. The Q questions are given for each group. Please look into the Q questions and prepare your responses. Okay. Neelam, you're not able to join? No, I think she has got stuck.
Sai Sudha ma'am is in which group? Sudha ma'am.
Yes, Shilpa.
Miss Aarti is not in station. She messaged me. I thought I'll just let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Aarti ma'am is there. You want to talk to her? You can quickly just let her know.
Ma'am, next class onwards, I will be using my laptop, ma'am. I will use my laptop, ma'am. Sorry
See, the
for that.
problem is from next class, you will have to start working, and no, if laptop is not there, reference, everything will become difficult for you.
Yeah, ma'am, I will understand. Sorry for that.
Right. So I think you have had a very good discussion. Okay. And I know that all of you have prepared your PPTs and things for explaining. So let us start with group one. Group one, your questions are, what is reflection? What is the value of reflection for teachers? And how can reflection be promoted in schools? Yes, group one, you can share.
Chaitanya ma'am, can you share or shall I?
You're on mute, Chaitanya.
Ma'am, I will share it. 1 minute. Ma'am, host disabled participant screen sharing was meeting.
Check.
Check now.
Yes, ma'am. Same thing, ma'am.
One minute.
Yes,
Shilpa,
ma'am.
though.
Now I got it.
Yeah.
So the questions we have is, what is reflection actually? So reflection is nothing but a
Go
self-examination.
to slideshow, no? Go to
Yes, ma'am.
slideshow. No, there on top it is up to share. Just before that,
Yes.
share button. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. So we have the question of what is reflection? So reflection can be considered as a self-examination or a self-evaluation process where individuals can critically analyze their own experiences, actions, and outcomes of their plans and everything. Very especially in teaching, we can assess our teaching practices, classroom interactions, learning experiences of the students. So when we do reflection on these points, we can understand up to what level we are able to deliver the content to the students. So by doing the self-reflection, we can understand, are we able to reach outcomes what we have planned? So the importance of a reflection, as you can see it on the slide, it will actually help us to learn from our experiences. Like we can understand where we are doing the mistakes, we can understand from them and overcome them. And reflection helps us to set goals for further. Like once we reach certain goal, it always, so once I have reached certain point, it actually helps to set up a new goal for us. And it helps us to understand ourselves better, first of all. Once we understand about ourselves, then we can actually set a goal for ourselves. And reflection helps us to build resilience. So all these reflection can be helped in teaching practices with the significant process, like which actually helps the teacher in a very prominent way with seven what we say, seven patterns, I can say.
Okay. Don't worry. See, your teammates are there. They will have to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, continuing to it, ma'am. So there are 7 reflective practices. So there are professional growth, enhance innovation, facilitate teaching, boost teacher-student relationship, make lessons more lively and interesting, and enhance problem solving and boost classroom democracy. These are the 7 practices which we do in a classroom as a teacher. So I'll be dealing with the first two, professional growth, like how it, if by doing this reflective practice, how it is going to affect our professional growth. It like self-assessment, right? So it will evaluate our strengths, areas for improvement in teaching practices. Also, it will integrate the feedback from the students and the peer for continuous, like development should be shown unless and until we take the feedback. So it is like from can be students and can be the peer for our continuous development. Also, like goal setting, which we have done in the last class, we have to establish and set the goal, and realistic, it should be realistic so that the professional development goals are reached. And coming to innovation, so this is like innovations, we are like have many opportunities and many areas to find out and research also. So here innovations comes with experimentation, where like we can like test and refine new teaching methods based on reflections, or like depending on our how the reflection, like what are the goal, like which area we have to focus. Depending on it, we have to refine a teaching method so that it is reached to every person. And critical problem solving, like develop creative solutions to the classroom challenges. It because we have age level challenges and like special childs and all, so everything we have to develop a solution for those kind of challenges. Adaptation comes with teaching strategies, like yes, we have to adapt as many as teaching strategies to evolve student needs and preferences. So my colleagues will carry on with the next 2 points. Manjari ma'am?
Uh, Ma'am, I will be doing boost teacher-student relationship.
Yeah, sorry, my internet got disconnected. Yeah.
I will be going ahead with boost to teacher-student relationship. Chaitanya ma'am, can you go to the next slide?
Uh, Can you make it fast? Because 1 minute I would like to give to each member so that the
Yes,
presentation.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Chaitanya ma'am, can you please move to the next slide, please? Yes, the next slide is there. Ma'am.
Veena ma'am, you are in mute.
So basically, this helps us to recognize student strength. That is, it reflects and allows teachers to notice and also talk about what children can actually, do in the class, encourage the children to do what they want to. I'll quickly list out the points. The details are put in the slide. We will share the slide details. Is that okay, Sudha ma'am?
Yes, fine.
So,
Yeah.
enhanced empathy, it improves communication skills of the teachers as well as the students, and it builds responsive teaching. That is, we immediately respond to the need of the children. It also builds a kind of trust between the student and the teacher. And if there are any biases that are there, this kind of a reflective practice will ensure that those biases get corrected at the very starting stage, and it does not carry forward. And overall, it helps us to give a good feedback and also create a positive learning environment for the student. That is how critical reflection boosts teacher-student relationship. Next, I would like my teammates to take further.
Next one, making lessons more lively and interesting. It plays a very vital role, ma'am, in teaching. When we make the lessons more lively and teaching by making them to do hands-on activities and by creating quizzes, role plays, these all makes the children to participate more positively, and really they like to do all these things in the class instead of monotony teaching, so that it really improves even teachers the level of reflection also. We can see most of the many changes if we incorporate all these practices, and we should encourage student participation all the time by questioning them questioning is the very important thing which we should do in the class, question and answering sessions, and live learning by taking them to field trips and all, and making the topic to the real world connections. All these enhance their learning, and also it is a good reflection practice for teachers also, so that from the child they can learn, take the feedback also, how they can understand and all. It helps a lot in the reflective practice, ma'am.
Okay, yeah.
Next is enhanced problem solving. Actually, the call for the day is how well the teacher and the student can solve critical problems which put a challenge to them. So the reflective practices actually will help them to understand like the past experiences they had and how they had solved the problem, and how the new problems can be solved by using the strategies used by others and by themselves. Personalized solutions can be gained in this process through reflective practice.
Okay, okay. I'm not telling anything now. Towards the end, once the benefits are spoken, we will come back to their slides. Yes, anyone else is
Now the
speaking?
last slide is basically the boosting classroom democracy. Now,
Yeah.
the boosting classroom democracy, in fact, through the teachers, reflective practices, it involves, in fact, the teacher can reflect on his or her teaching strategies as well as the approaches, and also the teaching philosophy. And as per, in fact, the students' need, the teacher can, in fact, adjust the strategy and see whether the students are able to participate or not. Now, in the even the students are not actively participating, the teacher can, in fact, through the reflective approach, the teacher can incorporate, collaborating teaching, learning activities for the students, and the teacher can always monitor continuously, and through the survey also feedback, the teacher can change his or her strategies, and the teacher needs to involve, in fact, the students in the decision making process. And then, in fact, if the teacher involves the student in the decision making process, the student may take ownership for his or her work, and
Yeah.
access, in fact, inclusive classroom. And also the teacher needs to create a very safe environment, classroom environment for the students. So
Okay.
this is the last one about the boosting the classroom democracy.
Okay. We'll come to reflective cycle. Who's going to talk about reflective cycle?
Ma'am, myself, I'm Chaitanya, ma'am.
Can you just make it a little bit faster because we have a lot? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reflective cycle, this is a cyclic process, ma'am. Like every time we should check, like, what are you doing? Why are we doing it? And how effective is it? How are students responding? And how can you do it better? Again, we'll start with what are we doing? So, ma'am, every time it will be like a cyclic process revolving around. We should be always thinking about all these, and if any feedbacks we got, we should start again. So by improving. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, team one. Team two, can you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning. So,
Again, I'm requesting all the team members to take only 1 minute, so that
sure,
no, we have lots to discuss. So this is just starting. So yours is on critical reflection. It's a very important aspect about critical reflection, and the questions are: what is critical reflection? What developmental aspects are we to consider during critical reflection? Why is it that a teacher should not become comfortable in her teaching practice? That is a very important part. Okay. Yes, Shamina.
yes, ma'am. I'm starting here with what is critical reflection. So,
Yeah.
critical reflection in teaching generally involves the systematically examining and evaluating our own teaching techniques, like how are we delivering the lessons, our own teaching philosophies. Accordingly, that we have to analyze our lesson plans and delivery, assessing and student learning outcomes, and this will always improve, or we can enhance the student engagement and motivation, which we can again improve our teaching methods and materials. So I would like to just end up my critical reflection point by saying this will enable the teachers in these areas, that is deep understanding of the way in which this teaching should happen, and it would always challenges the traditional mode of practice. What is our traditional ways of teaching? So our critical reflection will always have to challenge that, and it will help or enable the teacher to grow greater effectiveness as teachers. So these are my points, and my team members will take over.
Okay.
Ma'am, I'm going to add few points for critical reflection. Critical reflection involves in deep and thoughtful examination of our experiences, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. That's
And
true.
new learning with prior experience, posing appropriate questions and exploring our thinking.
Very true. Yes.
And we should remember, recall, reconstruct, recreate, and represent.
Okay. Right.
And construction means it's not about constructing something, it's about learning.
Constructing knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And here are some key elements of critical reflection: self-awareness, questioning assumptions, contextual understanding, multiple perspectives, learning and growth.
Okay. Yeah. That's it, Mukambika?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next team member? I think but who are there?
Tasin, ma'am.
Huh?
Tasin, ma'am.
Parveen ma'am, few points.
Tehseen is there, Saujanya,
Yes, ma'am.
Mukambika,
I
Parveen,
would like to,
Sharmila,
Revati,
and
ma'am.
yeah, ma'am. Yeah, second question, ma'am, I would like to demonstrate here. What developmental aspects are we to consider during critical reflection? As critical reflection is the reasoning process to make a meaningful experience, ma'am. So, what are the developmental aspects we have to consider when we are with the critical reflection analysis? So, we have to take the aspects like enhance innovation, ma'am. It helps us to improve our teaching methods and enhance the critical thinking. Mainly, it talks about the critical thinking in the students, and it helps us to improve ourselves as well as improve student performance.
Okay.
And it gives us the self motivation on that. So this is overall development. Critical reflection help us for the overall development, ma'am. It involves artistic descriptive analysis.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We will come to it in detail, Parveen. I'll give you examples also of what is critical reflection, how it happens. With examples, we will be doing it. Yes, next, any team member?
Ma'am, it is also, the development aspect can be, we will be well informed, we can influence or also enhance, ma'am, on the
Okay.
teaching skills. And also what else I wrote is, it also, no, let us more, save more focused and innovative, ma'am.
Okay.
Considering new ways of teaching, we can just change and adapt to new teaching methodologies, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. And next, anyone else in the group?
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. To the question, why is it that the teacher should not become comfortable in her teaching practice? So I have made few points here, ma'am. A teacher
Yes.
should avoid becoming too comfortable in their teaching practices to ensure the continuous growth and effectiveness in the classroom. Firstly, comfort can lead to stagnation. So a mindset of continuous continual improvement helps mentor a teacher to inspire, engage, and support the students more effectively. And when a teacher remains adaptable and open to the new methods, they are better able to meet the diverse needs of the students and can stay updated and can create a proper learning, a teaching environment.
Yeah.
So, yes, ma'am. That is why teacher should not become comfortable in her teaching practices.
Right. Right. Nice.
I'm adding on to what Saujanya ma'am said. So a teacher should not become too comfortable in the teaching practices, because once the teacher is too satisfied, too comfortable, then she is in a comfort zone. And where saying goes, like, if you are self-satisfied, it is the most significant obstacles to success. So there is,
Very.
we all know there is no end for learning. So we always have to be in the process of learning, though we are educators, but still, that is the reason I think we all have joined here to just enrich ourselves. Yes. So, and then, there are other aspects too, which also should be kept in mind, why teachers should not become very much comfortable. You see, ma'am, the students need changes, and the students' interest also changes, and the abilities change over time. So a
Yes.
competent teacher may miss these challenges and fail to adapt their teaching. And new technologies also emerge. New technologies and tools emerge constantly, and a comfortable teacher may resist adopting new technologies, which also will hinder the learning of the student.
Yeah.
And teaching methodologies also improve, and the teaching new researches and methods emerge, which offers better ways to teach. So a comfortable teacher may not explore these improvements. And there will be also lack of challenge, which where comfort can lead to a lack of challenge for both teachers as well as for students, which will hinder the growth and learning. And also, of course, there will be missed opportunities, where comfort can cause teachers to miss opportunities and to try new approaches, and be collaborative with colleagues or participate in any professional development programs. And as ma'am said, it is also going to be a professional stagnation for the teacher, and where a teacher who is very much comfortable may stagnate professionally, missing opportunities for her growth and development.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And now can we move on to group 3? Group 3, the advantages of having reflective practices or adopting to reflective practices.
Yes, ma'am. Preeti, can you please share the screen?
I'm sharing them one second.
Yeah, so ma'am, our question is list down the benefits of reflection and reflective teaching. So we are just, after reading that, so benefits are definitely benefits of reflective teaching and learning will be there if we are using a proper technique. So first is what are the techniques in reflective teaching that involves to convey, to analyze, and deliver information in the goal and generation feedback. So these are the main techniques on which we can start working, and then we will get the proper reflection. So in the benefits of reflective teaching for teachers is first is the professional growth. So here what they are saying that how we can professionally grow when we are going and taking our classes. Jot down the things that what you have done good and where you have lacked something, where you need more improvement. So that is something that by simply start with the reflecting journals and writing down your thoughts after each session. So after that, when you feel like okay, this has gone good, but now this is where I have to work, or something some child has asked something which is not in the lesson, but it is something very informative, so then we need to work on that part, and our deep extensive inner thought process will help us to become we can grow professionally. Then the second point is enhance innovation. So here, in the teaching, when we go, we prepare lesson plan, we thought, we have done it nicely. But when
Garima,
we go,
you're the only person sharing, or you want others also to share?
no, ma'am, only 2 points, then others will be sharing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So enhance innovation is like when you are going to the class and when you are taking, you feel like your lesson plan and everything is good, but then you realize that children are not showing that much of interest. Then you have to change your strategy. And then you have to start thinking, okay, I could do it in a different way. So after you thought your lesson, just take a few minutes to assess your teaching, and then again redo the things to enhance, to make your teaching more interesting. So this is something that with new innovation, by talking to your peers, by colleagues, old experienced teacher, then you can make your own another lesson plan and another strategy to take it forward in the class. So now another Preeti will be taking care, ma'am, another two, she will be telling about two topics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll be speaking about boosting teacher-student relationship, which is very important when we talk about reflective thinking and in the teaching and learning process. Here, the teachers will engage in it actually increases empathy, I feel, because the teachers engage in the reflective practices. When they do this, they gain a very deeper understanding of what the child's needs are and their perspectives, their requirements. And based on that, the teachers, they can connect the students onto a particular personal level too. And this actually helps in building the trust and also the mutual respect between the teacher and the student, ma'am. And also, this sort of reflection will help the teachers to recognize their individual strengths and weaknesses. And by understanding that, they can tailor the particular teaching and the learning needs accordingly, ma'am, based on the students' requirements. So this is something that I feel is very, very important if we do this sort of practice.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Yeah,
Yes.
next.
Yeah, ma'am. The next fifth and the 6 points were covered by me. So my topic is make lessons lively and more interesting. Yes, ma'am. As teachers implement some reflective teaching strategies to troubleshoot and liven up our classes, students actively contribute to their classes, ma'am. They'll be really participating good in the classes. Like example, you can start to make it more lively. You can start your classes with a refreshing session and review what they talk in the last lesson. Ask the students to give their ideas and raise their queries and contribute towards answering their questions. I mean, your questions. And also, it makes the class really lively and fun and engaging, ma'am. And the next one is enhance the problem solving. Yes, learning to solve the problem and meeting the challenges really effectively and efficiently will be done as an utmost importance when we do the lesson plan. It really helps us to improve our skills in solving the problems and challenges, ma'am, and helps the teachers to devise the strategies and map up the personalized techniques for their struggling and students. It becomes more resourceful and confident when the obstacles arise in the classroom. So encourage this really encourage the learn to cope with the problems as we teach, and also incites the creativity and the problem solving skills from the teachers. So for teachers, this is very beneficial and crucial for intellectual stability and also for the healthy career.
Yes.
Yes.
Next.
Ma'am, next, why
Yes, Neela. Yeah.
boosts classroom democracy. First of all, nowadays teachers are in a very diverse classroom where students are from very diverse cultural backgrounds. So reflective journaling helps the teacher to boost classroom democracy by discussing about intercultural differences, what are the differences they have, and also sharing the common values which students share. And also it will help teachers prepare students to face the world with or other cultures with respect. Now coming to how teaching journal, reflective teaching journal helps students. Now when students start doing teaching reflective teaching journal, they will be able to remember the difficult concepts, like where they are lagging, where they face difficulties. So it will help them remember the concepts clearly and better. And also it will help them improve their performance in different subjects by using the theories, by summarizing what are the theories, whatever they have learned. Then also these journals which the students are using, it will give an insight. The teacher can get an insight of what the student is thinking about their learning.
Right.
Good morning, ma'am. The next 2 points are like boost engagement in the class. So actually, the reflective teaching provides a productive feedback in the class. It will be like everyone can share their ideas, raise their queries, and contribute their reflection. Means everyone will have a chance to express their ideas in the class, and it makes lesson much more interactive and engaging. So in this way, the lesson will be more interactive and engaging. And in that way, knowledge also will be able to share among everyone. And the next point is it develops critical thinking and coping skills. It improves the skills in solving problem solving and challenges. So how it can be done is like if they're facing challenge in a situation, they can note it down and they can discuss with their friends or the classmates. In that way, they can share their ideas. They can bring out the new creative solutions In
Mm.
that way, the critical thinking and coping skills can be developed. And in this way, the confidence of the learners also will be improved, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Malika. Alicia?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. So my
Mm.
points are related to the students, ma'am, enhance student motivation and improve student performance. So coming back to the motivation, we all as a humans and teachers, whatnot, we require motivation every day. In the same way, every student does require motivation also. Why? See, it is, we say that a well motivated student does way better in the class and on any platform. That's what I feel. And coming back to the motivation part, ma'am, why do we require to motivate a student to perform well in the class? To perform well in the class, we need the student to attend the classes regularly. That also the student require motivation. See, if the lessons are monotonous, if the lessons are one way transaction kind of thing, the student will not get motivated. So through this critical reflection, we can jot down the points and we can actually plan how to motivate the student. And coming to improve overall effectiveness, ma'am, as Neelam ma'am said, cultural differences, diverse classes we will have. So group discussions and discussion among the children will improve effectiveness. See, might be students may not share everything with the teacher, and everything we may not give considerable time for each and every point in the class. Through this group discussion, they can share more points with each other as they are of the same level. So
Mm.
I feel that this will make them come out of the lag points in the or the gaps, achievement gaps or lag points in the subject. So that's all with the critical reflection with the teachers and the students, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
thank-
Alicia. Now,
thank you.
before winding on this topic, I have certain questions. I've listened to all of you. Now, there was a word that is trust was one word. Responsive teaching to overcome bias was one word. Classroom democracy was one word. Teachers becoming comfortable was one word. Now, there are many leaders also in this group. Only one question I would like to ask you is, when the performance is low of a student in the class, I know parents will be approaching you, right? What is the general statements they do? What are the general statements that as leaders you hear from parents? They give the report card is given, right? Yes. And parents come to they talk with the teachers and then go to the leaders. I don't want teachers to answer this. I want principals, coordinators to answer this. What are the general statements that parents tell? Because from there we will start our reflection. I want you to think in depth into this. What are the general statements that you hear from parents? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Nampa ma'am.
Ma'am, we hear a parent comes and tells they agree to the fact that their child is weak and like they need a scaffolding. They ask us like, what are the efforts your school is taking to improve my child's development, which I haven't observed for the past 6 months or 1 year. So
Yes.
they need to know the remedial.
And you can be very frank, ma'am. Point frank. What do they say? See, it is on reflection. Please don't take this personally. We are going to reflect from there to find out where exactly the problem lies.
Yes.
Yeah.
This scaffolding is a big problem in any institution, like how to support the child in coming up to the required standards.
Okay.
So
Thank you. Yeah. Well, no, we will stop there. Scaffolding you have said. Yes, Preeti ma'am.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, regarding this particular issues, normally what I feel I have got, like the first thing that they say is we are paying so much amount, what is the school doing, what are you doing. So this is something that, because we have been, when we start telling them that we require you also to support the child. So this is the second like, normally I have heard this, that then what is the school doing if the child is spending right from morning to evening almost the same
I
time.
want all of you to hear. Now, forget about the parents part. I want you to hear this part, that what she said is the right one. What is the school doing? And what Shampa ma'am said, what type of scaffolding are your teachers giving? Please note these points. Yes, Ms. Garima.
Yeah, ma'am, like many times parents come and they say that I feel like the concept is not been taught properly in the class, and this is the reason my child is not able to understand. And
Right.
Somewhere it is like, it depends on the child's understanding also. But when they come, they feel like, my child is very intelligent, but somewhere something is missing in the class, that the delivery is not happening in such a way that child is not able to understand.
Very true. Now that point also, something is missing. Now remember, these are all key aspects of your reflection. Okay. Veena ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, there are a few parents who say when the child studies at home and when they answer in front of us, they are able to do everything nicely, but I don't know what happens to my child in school. This is also something which parents say.
Very true. Very true. Now you have got different answers, right? One was related to scaffolding. Second was what is the school doing? What is happening in the classes? Third one was something is wrong somewhere. You are not able to identify. Fourth part was what Veena ma'am said, that at home they are able to answer, and in the school what happens. Now, I, as teachers, please reflect on the statements. Now you have given, when you're presenting, you have given these statements of use of reflection in classes, trust, responsive teaching to overcome biases, classroom democracy, teacher becoming comfortable with their teaching. Now, can you relate all these problems to these 5 aspects in your classroom? Now, we have told about classroom democracy.
I'm
What is
sorry to
exactly?
disturb, ma'am. Could you please repeat, ma'am, the aspects just you said just now?
Teachers' reflective practices, one. Second is the trust issue in the classroom. Responsive teaching to overcome biases. Classroom democracy, and teacher becoming comfortable in her teaching. Now, all the problems that they have stated, can you relate to any one of this? Okay. Now, when we are talking about classroom democracy, okay, what is that meaning of democracy that we are talking about here? Yes, Ms. Neelam.
Yes, ma'am. Classroom democracy means everybody in the classroom should get equal opportunity of learning from a teacher, irrespective of.
What is that? Let us go in depth, ma'am. What is that learning we are talking about? What is that learning that we are talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in a classroom, everybody will not be of the same learning concepts. Like they will not be in the same level. So as a teacher, I should develop democracy by giving them the equal, like suppose somebody needs an extra support, they should be able to get that extra support in that concept. But I should be catering equally to everybody in the classroom to their need, because I'm for everyone.
Right. Right. Now, ma'am, Manjari ma'am, I want you to answer. What is that you will be catering to every student equally in the class?
Ma'am, what I am going to do is, as a teacher, I'll definitely listen to their concerns. Okay. And the second thing, what I feel and I have been doing in my classes is that involve them in the decision making, ma'am. This really helps a lot. Because see, in the event, the student feels that they are also the part of the decision making process, whether, what is to be, I mean, sometimes it happens that even simple thing, I'll give you giving homework. When we give them homework, we do ask them, when do you want to submit? Rather than telling, I mean, we know our deadlines, but give them couple of options so that they feel privileged to be the part of the decision making, and they will feel that they have the owners, they are the part of the entire decision making, and the ownership is there. So I
Right.
feel that ownership is very much required in the democracy classroom. Otherwise, it becomes only one-way traffic, that the teacher is only talking, the teacher is only deciding, the teacher is only teaching, and nothing is happening. The students are not at all involved.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms.
Thank you.
Garima, your question is, Manjari ma'am neatly said that the onus to some amount you have to give the decision making to the students. Okay. How will you arrive at going for that decision making for students? Do you think that everything will be open, or how do you arrive at giving that decision making to the students?
Ma'am, like two things what she has said. Like first is the student centric and teacher centric. So if the class is more teacher centric, then definitely they are not, they will not be able to get a chance to think, and then to research, and then to come up with their own point of view. So we need to be like, throw them open-ended question, and we
Ms.
keeping
Garima,
all.
I'm not asking about the student. I'm asking about you as a teacher. How do you come to the conclusion on when you will pass on the onus to the students, when you will take a stand? When will you understand that part? When will you take the decision on that?
As like, when for them to become take the ownership, right?
Yes. When will you do that?
I
Remember,
think
it is about me as a teacher. I'm not worried about student, but the student's performance is totally going to depend on how I partake in that decision making process. So how will I know, okay, when to give that decision making process to the students? That is the
I think
question.
by facilitating them, and not giving them like, telling them, okay, this is what you have to do. So this is, I take the scenario in the class, and then I will tell them, now I am there to just to tell you that this is what has to be done, but now you come up with. So this time they are taking the ownership and taking their own way, and then they are coming us and giving us, ma'am, I think we can go by step. So somewhere, if I'm giving them freedom to think, and then coming up with their own, and boosting them, then I think they will become more like, they feel like that is the ownership what they have achieved.
Okay. We'll come back to that. Yes, Ms. Aisha, how do you think you take up this decision in your classes? When to give the student, the onus of decision making? When do you think you will be doing it?
Yeah, ma'am. Coming to the decision making given to the students, I would think that during the illustrations, as Garima ma'am already said, during the illustrations and integrating to their real life things when they are discussing about the points. Few points as an English teacher, I feel that few points, few topics will be like I have to connect to the real life, situations, wherein I would give the ownership to the students to come up with the situations, so that is the easier way to get into the to deep dive into the point. So I guess then we could give the ownership, ma'am. And
I'll give you a break. I'll share the Cambridge document. Please park this question towards the end. After a video that I will show you towards the end, I'll ask the question again. And that time I want a different answer. Okay? Yes, please park the question, because this is where you will be reflecting. This is how you will have to reflect also. So now I'll just give you the slide and share the content in the chat box. Nearpod link also I'm going to give you. So you can take a break, read. Okay, once you come back after your break, read and share your thoughts in the Nearpod. Okay, I'll share it in the chat box, this one also. your present class, something is missing there, present class that you're teaching. That's it. Please let me know if you're able to open Nearpod.
Yes, ma'am. It's opening, ma'am.
Okay. You can take a break. You can take a break, come back and then read the document and put your thoughts.
Miss Saujanya?
Yes, ma'am.
You had an issue to join today also, I got to know from Sai for
Yes,
the
ma'am.
class.
Yes, ma'am. So finally I joined.
So please check it by around 9:15 because all of us are joining in by FIS only. I'm not able to understand why only you are facing an issue. You could call me after the class. We'll check on it, Saujanya.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Please get ahead with your learning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you are ready, you can switch on your camera. If you're ready, you can switch on your camera. Has anyone shared in Nearpod? No. Okay. Okay, then I can. I'll just share, change this link because I kept it at student paste. It is not showing me in case if you're doing anything. So I'll just change the link. You can just take this link that I'm sharing. Yeah, there is another link that I've shared. You can work with this. You can start sharing your thoughts. Okay. Veena ma'am, you have to share a relevant example from your class. From your class, any relevant example. Ms. Revati,
Okay,
Shampa,
ma'am.
Mallika, please switch on your cameras. Any relevant example. Garima, you are also sharing what you are reading. I'm asking you to apply one theory to your practice and put there. Anything that you can recall. See, it may be wrong, it may be right, but what happened in your class? Can you just think and put there? Yeah. Taking feedback. Okay. Okay, Manjari has given research apply adapt. Chaitanya, how does feedback come into your cycle? Cycle of reflection. Yes. Others, please make it fast. I don't see others posts coming in. Another 2 minutes I can provide. After that, we'll move on. I would like others also to start sharing.
Ma'am, just one doubt, ma'am. Can we have peer assessment as a type of
Ma'am, actually, when you're talking about reflection, we will come into it. We'll come into it. It has to be something that has happened in your class and you thinking about it. Okay. It can be you are on the spot or afterwards, but you thinking about it. I just want you to initiate the thinking process. How to go about doing it, now we will be doing in the next half an hour. But if you start, then it will go on the lines what it is expected. That is the reason. Yes, Ms. Shampa, that's right. 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 Now, what is your reflection on it? You have written what has happened. Okay, Alicia, fine. Okay. Right. Okay, Ms. Champa, right. Okay, Parveen. Okay, Sharmila. So I'm just stopping it here, your responses. Then we will come back to this now. How to go about writing. Remember, these are our initial thoughts about reflection. Okay. What you have put is your initial thoughts about reflection. So as we deal about the different theories, you will have an in-depth understanding of what exactly you have to do with reflection and how you're going to do reflection. Now, this is Kolb's experiential cycle or Kolb's reflective cycle. You would have seen this in the document. Now, there are 4 parts to it: concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation, right? So what exactly does this mean? For example, I'm just taking the example that Ms. Shampa has given in her nearpod. That is when she was teaching world politics. Okay, I'm just stopping the share so that I can. Teaching world politics in one of my classes where we were going through Russian Revolution and modern Russian politics, a student whole commenting on Glasnost and Pritisika, he said too much openness will destroy world peace. Now, what is that according to this cycle? Now, ma'am has given a classroom example, so I'm just taking that. Where do you think that comes in this particular cycle? It comes under concrete experience.
Yes,
Yes,
concrete
he has
experience.
experienced it. Now, after that, what happens? Ms. Champa, can you tell? Now I'm going to ask Ms. Champa certain questions. Okay, that comes under reflective. I just want the answer only for those questions. Okay, ma'am, when you saw this, what was your first thought about the child's comment? Ma'am, Champa, ma'am. You're on mute actually. Maybe because of that, maybe you're speaking. I think, ma'am, you're there? Are you able to hear me? Shampa ma'am, are you there? Okay, I'll take another example then. Whatever you have written, I'm just taking it.
She's there, ma'am, but not active. I'll just check, Sudha ma'am.
Because she is the only person who has given me a classroom example.
I'll just message her.
Okay, any other social teacher here? No one else is a social teacher. Okay. No, she has got disconnected.
Calling, she's in again.
Yeah.
Shampa ma'am, are you there?
You're on mute, ma'am.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Actually, I wanted to unmute and the link went. Ma'am, actually, when we were teaching this Russian politics, glasnost means openness and perestroika means change in Russian language, which Gorbachev had introduced. So everywhere in the world, we think that openness and change will bring up.
I'm not talking of the subject. My question is, what was your first thought when the student answered, too much openness is bad for democracy? What was your first thought?
First thought was that I must rethink of my own. My reflection was that whatever I think is not what is concrete.
Not that. Make it more simpler. Ma'am, first something you would have struck you. It can be an emotion. It can be, no, it can be something that you thought, okay, my teaching did not go in the way that I wanted.
Okay. So
it's simple terms. Don't use the word reflection now. Reflection consists of lots of things. So let us go into the simpler layman language.
The layman language, like I was a bit astonished.
Okay.
Like think it in another way also.
Okay. Now that was your first thought. Now, second question is, why do you think the child thought it wrong? Why did you think that, or where did you go wrong that the child got this type of an understanding? What do you think about that? Please understand these are the questions that you will have to ask yourself during reflection. Okay. Why did you think that the child thought in the wrong way, or what was the answer expected, and why do you think that it went wrong?
Because like we believe in the established theories.
No, no, no. I want your answer. Forget about theories, ma'am. Remember you as a human, and don't use we here. Reflection should always be I. Okay. So what did you think? Remember, it is your thought. I know it is going to be difficult initially, but over a period of time, you will practice this. What were you thinking? Okay, when the child gave an answer, which was, let us say, wrong, and why it went wrong? What did you do that the child answered in the wrong way? You got my question? Yeah.
Thought that I should change the way I put my concepts and rethink on the practices of like I should rethink on my teaching strategies.
Very good. Now that is, remember that also is broad, but yes, for the first time that went well, right? Now all of you understood how to start your reflection when you're thinking. First thing is astonishment. Now that is what comes under Kolb's reflective observation. You got it? That is your reflective observation. Don't think that what you're thinking is wrong. It's your thinking. So it can go wrong also, because no, you have thought that, right? Now, next one is, why did you think that happened in the class? Ms. Shampa said, my teaching strategy has gone wrong. That is your abstract. Remember, it's an abstract thought that is coming into you. Okay. Next, what you're going to do to correct it. Got it? What changes you bring? That is your active experimentation. Got the cycle? All of you understood this cycle? Right? So this is one reflective practice that you can do. Remember, always we will not be following all. Next is scones. Scones is a broad perspective. So I'll give you a broader way of doing it. Now, sometimes in the class, what happens is, when you're teaching, you go to a particular child, you'll see that he has worked out in a wrong way. Yes? Then you think, oh, what I thought can be taken in this way also. You immediately go to the board, or no, you say that now I want all of you to stop what you're doing. Okay. Now rethink, and you change the way you're talking or you're explaining and make the perspective that has gone wrong correct. Because I know you tell the students, I know when I told this, you take it in this way also. So now I want you to think from this point and write, right? Or work. Yes, that is your scones in reflection. Okay, that is in reflection. Okay. When you use the word in, that is then and there you're correcting. When you say on reflection, it means that after your class, okay, you have, like how Shampa ma'am said, okay, suddenly you realize, oh my God, that boy gave a wrong answer. Okay, was it only that student that who has thought in that way? Or was it all of them had that wrong notion, but because I explained, they wrote it correctly? That is after your class, you're thinking on what has happened in the classes on reflection. Okay. On reflection happens there. Now, this is also an important theory that happens in your classes. The third one is Gibbs. Okay. This is the one that you will be practicing in your reflective journal. So how to go about practicing, we will see. But before that, let me just show you this video about what is exactly reflection that we are talking about. Just give me a minute because I'll have to. Started. Just show your virtual thumbs up if you are able to hear.
Reflective writing is a process of putting into writing your reflective thinking. Reflective thinking is actually the important part of the process. The writing is just a way of documenting that this has happened. When people first start to reflect, they often think that it's about looking back at an event and thinking about what they've learned from the experience. What they don't realise is that it is equally about looking forward, imagining future events and thinking about how the lessons you've learned could be applied. It is therefore a three-stage process: looking back and analysing and projecting into the future. Without the third stage, it could be pointless. It's also really important that when you look back at an event, you don't just concentrate on it in isolation. You need to take a metaphorical step backwards so that you can see it in the context of other events and other learning. These can and should influence your viewpoint when reflecting on that event. All of this can be written about in your reflective writing. When most people reflect, they write about what happened, about when it happened, often in the form of a timeline. I did this, then I did that. They write about who was involved and perhaps where it happened. These are useful things, but they are basically descriptive, and writing about them does not actually contribute to useful reflection. Instead, you should write about your thoughts about the event, during it, after it, and since. You should also include information about how it made you feel. Were you uncomfortable doing it? Did you feel confident about it? Instead of what, when, who, and where, you need to write about why. Why did you do it that way? How? How will you change it in the future? You should also think about the implications. You learned something, but so what? How does that help you? Writing that answers these questions is truly reflective. So, how much description is needed and how much reflection? Description is important, but it should be kept to a minimum. It exists merely in order to put the reflection into context. A typical piece of reflective writing should have short bouts of description followed by a lot of reflection. One important part of reflection is hindsight. This is the ability to look back at an event with knowledge that wasn't available during the event. Typically, some hindsight will initially hit immediately following an event as a result of knowledge gained in the process of that event. This is the if only moment when you first look back. What then happens is you gain more hindsight gradually over time as more knowledge becomes available. This can be incredibly frustrating if you think you can't change things. However, if at the point you reflect, you realise you've learned a lot from the experience and you can change things in the future, this is actually very empowering. When writing about that learning, it is important to not only think about how it can be directly applied to similar situations, but how it can be adapted and translated to other situations. For instance, if you have to give a presentation, you may spend a lot of time preparing for it and be really happy with the way that it went when you delivered it. But what if someone afterwards asks you a really awkward question, one you hadn't prepared for? You might feel a bit flustered and not answer it how you would have liked. When you reflect on this, you may write about how you did not like that feeling, and in future presentations you'll need to think about more possible questions and prepare answers beforehand. However, you may also think about other situations where thinking beyond the immediate problem would come in useful. And you may realise that despite being unprepared, you did manage to give an answer of sorts. This may make you realise that you can think on your feet and give you confidence to do the same in other situations. You could put all of these thoughts into your reflective writing. If you imagine an experience as a wet cloth, the purpose of reflection is to wring every last drop of learning out of that experience. It's also about showing that you can think about how you can put that learning into action. Nobody's saying this is easy. When you first start writing your reflections down, it can seem very strange. You may learn things about yourself that you're not comfortable with. You can feel like you're really struggling uphill. However, when it becomes a regular activity, it can feel perfectly normal and relatively easy. The great thing about reflecting is that it's very rewarding. When you realise that you can analyse things and work out possible ways forward for yourself, your self-confidence gets a real boost. Reflective writing is just a way to formalise and encourage such reflective thinking.
Okay. So I'll share the video. The video will be, I'll just share it again here so that no, you can just watch it when you are free. You can make a note of this video. Yes, Manjari.
I have a question over here. I just wanted to know, like the other day when I was teaching in the class, there was a poem known like Fog. So over there, all this while teaching, fog is basically, it's a poem where the poet connects, with the cat. The fog, it comes and it goes silently without making any noise. In the similar manner, the cat also comes and without making any noise, the cat goes, disappears. Okay. So the other day when a child gave me, in fact, the child came up with a very unique interpretation, which I have never thought about. And all these years by teaching, the child asked me, ma'am, can we compare fog with emotions? Because emotions also, it comes and it just goes away. So can it be the part of reflective, like, because I have never thought about it. Like all these years
Yes.
I've been teaching, we have compared.
But remember that reflection is not of yours, it's of the child.
But
what was your reflection? What was your reflection? How did you feel?
I was astonished because all this while, when all these years, ma'am, I have been teaching. So it was only one dimension because it was written in the book. It's about cat. But I never gave that explanation, or never I thought that there would be another interpretation also about emotions. So probably my
now that child has taught you something. What did you learn from it?
That means teaching cannot be rigid. We need to be open-minded about it. That's what do you think? Like
that you're thinking in the larger perspective. For that home's sake, that particular period, if you're given a chance to teach again, how will you teach? That is what is reflection.
Okay. So
now that you have learned something new, how will you go about? That is your action plan. So why now the question comes here is, I'll give you have a reflective cycle format. You can write the same thing. There are steps that are given there. All of you would have downloaded this format. Please check if you have downloaded. You will have to write the incident. I'll share this format. Okay, you can write the incident. What were your feelings that happened? This is the Gibbs format. Okay, so you have to practice this in your journal writing. Initially, use this format. Later on, you can write it as a narrative. Okay, evaluation is what is good about it, what was bad about it, what is your experience, did it work well, did it not work well. Analysis is what did you understand from that? What sense did you make out of it? Or where should you think about when you're doing your strategy? How will you conclude? So what are the changes you propose to do? How will you do it next time? That is your action. Okay. So use this format. Make a copy. You can do it. We will try and work out on 3. So try it out. This particular strategy. This reflective cycle document, you can try it out. We will work on it. Okay, I'm sharing this getting started with guides also with all of you. Okay, I need not do now, like whenever you're free, all the Cambridge documents related to getting started with is given in this particular place. So I've just put it in a place so that whenever you want to have a quick reference, you can look into. Okay. Just try with the document. I'll give you 10 minutes. It's 11:16, 11:26. Okay, we will take 3 samples and we will work out. Okay, you will be sharing, you will be explaining. I'll ask your peers to work out on that. Your peer observation and peer reflection will happen, and then I'll give you my output also. All of you have the document with you. Anyone who is not having? Tehseen ma'am, you will have to download it from your this one. Huh? I'll share it. But please do start downloading from.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, just a minute. Okay, it's open, so it will not up. If you're finished, you can just raise your hand and we'll share and have a discussion. Need not wait till the time completion. Okay, Neelam. Yes, Neelam. Can you share?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I would like others to also participate. Those who have completed or on the way, you can just give your comments. What is your observation?
Yes, ma'am.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah.
Ma'am, one of these days I was teaching the lesson sound.
You will have to write that also. Okay. After teaching sound, when? To which class? Okay. Right.
So I asked them a question like if the vibration is, if you want to change the volume of sound, what would you do? So many students, they answered like we have to do fast vibrations. We have to do it fast. So actually the vibration should be bigger. So that two words they were unable to relate. So I thought that I just showed them using a scale and different things which they were not able to understand. So
No,
they
what is your feeling? Your feeling is not there.
feel I was unable to make the students comprehend the
What is the emotion? Emotion connected. Feelings is emotion.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the next what was it a good
No,
feeling?
you have to write first your feelings there. Write your feelings there. How did you feel? You understood, Neela?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Did not do justice to the concept.
No, no, no. What is your emotion? What are the any English teacher? Can you tell what are the different words for emotions?
It can be happy, irritated, sad, all
Astonished,
that comes in.
astonished,
Ah.
amazed.
Amazed,
Yes.
astonished,
Amazed,
all that.
astonished.
Negative emotions she's asking.
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Okay, great.
Disheartened,
Right.
disappointed, disheartened.
Yes. Now, right. Now I felt disappointed. What were you thinking? You felt disappointed. So what was the first thought that came into your mind? When you felt disappointed, what was the first thought that came into your mind?
I was unable to transfer my thoughts about that concept to the children.
Will it be that?
Means I felt disappointed that after teaching also they were not able to.
Right that.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Was it a bad experience? Yes, it was a bad experience, ma'am.
What was bad about it? Remember what?
My efforts was not fruitful.
What effort?
I spent so much time explaining the concept.
No. Again, you're going to the emotional part of it. What part of the concept did you have the bad experience, or what went wrong that you had the bad experience? It's a descriptive part.
The understanding of the children was not proper.
Do you say understanding, or now remember you can't pinpoint to the kids. Now it is part that what you did that went wrong, or what part you felt did not go correctly into the class.
My explanation was not
Write that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, your spelling of explanation, please check because it's a rough document. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Next.
Then I thought that just telling and showing with actions did not help them. But telling the concept and showing that how it is fast and slow, big and small, it did not help them understand the concept.
Very good. Okay, next.
So what I thought, I will give more examples of the same concepts, not some, same concept, more examples. or I
Okay.
can show them audio visuals to support my teaching.
Very good, right?
Next time, I thought I will bring a tuning fork. I'll tell them to hit it hard and they will hear the sound because the pitch will remain the same. And even in guitar, where the pitch can be changed by using the fingers, like pressing the string, and I can ask them to hit the string harder and slower to know the difference between a pitch and a volume.
Right.
So instead of just telling, I can use props to teach.
Okay. Okay. Right. So now you got the idea of how to write a reflection. Right.
Yes.
But remember, your analysis should be in-depth analysis. Okay. A detailed analysis. Yes, Revati. Can you
Yes, ma'am.
share? Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm not able to share. Can I speak, ma'am? I've written the points down.
The problem is if you speak half only, I will understand. That is the problem.
Ma'am, I'm not able to share the screen, but
That's okay. Try it out. We'll see what amount we can
okay,
help
ma'am.
you out. Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, first the description part. While I was dealing with supplementary reading in grade 6, that was a class of 22 students. I divided the students into 4 groups.
Supplementary reader topic.
This one, ma'am, friendly mongoose.
Okay.
The friendly mongoose. Okay, I had divided them, and I said you can come up with whatever you want. It can be a skit, it can be a puppet show, whatever it is. You decide and come. But I didn't actually put them. I didn't decide who was going to join which team, ma'am. I just said you just form team up on your own 4 teams. That was the first thing. I divided, but I also didn't give them like we have to finish within this time or within this period because it was a block period. So I didn't say that we will finish it off by this period. I just said you will have to work on it. So that was the first description. Feeling was I was actually happy that they divided themselves. Okay, finally that 6th group was formed. But then later I realized they were actually sitting with their friends, chit chatting, not actually working on the thing which I had given them. Then I started feeling irritated. Why didn't I actually put them into group? I must have divided in the group rather than giving them the choice to form their own groups. That is the feeling there. Evaluation is one good thing is teamwork. There was of course there was teamwork because they were putting groups. They will be obviously be sharing their points. So there is teamwork. And the other side is the if 4 are there in the group, not necessarily everyone pitching points. I found 2 or 1 student sitting not pitching in enough points, just wasting time, not actually doing something productive, ma'am. So that is that is the evaluation part. Analysis is I later on analyzed that I should have actually divided them into group as per my choice instead of leaving to that end. It was not at all a productive class. By the end, I didn't have any presentations in the class. It just went on like that. Actually, the total waste of 2 block periods is what I actually felt that day, ma'am. Conclusion is what I understood is that never let them sit with their friends. I divide the group and you sit. It's not according to your wish. You don't get to sit because I felt no, there is no productive thing happening at all. You better sit with the team I put you in. Action plan was even though ma'am, I put not everyone was actually able to speak. Many people were not able to express because later on when I found time and they given the opportunity to present in front of the class, not everyone was able to express because they didn't have enough points to pitch in. They had just wasted their time without actually sharing their points. And also, later on what our conclusion is, as I said, ma'am, I will be dividing henceforth, you will be not going and joining with your friends and wasting the time, ma'am. That is right.
Okay, before we move forward, earlier we had a discussion, something related to what Revati had told. Don't know whether it was Manjari or Champa who put forth. That is the onus of the students taking the decision. Okay. Now, how did Revati come to the conclusion the onus should not be given with students? Remember earlier it was that I should give the onus to the students. Now Revati has given a contradicting conclusion saying that I will not be giving the onus to the students. How did she arrive at that conclusion? What was that she did in between? Yes, Manjari?
Ma'am, can you just once again repeat it? I'll just, rethink about it. Yes, can you please?
Initially the discussion was
Yes,
the onus should be
ownership
given to
given.
the students. Now
Absolutely.
Revati has given a very neat analysis of why the onus should not be given to the students. How did the teacher arrive at that? Whether the onus should be given to the students or whether the onus should not be given to the students.
The
How
teacher,
did you arrive at that?
because seeing the circumstances, seeing the situation, the teacher decided that the onus should not be given to the students. It
So
happens.
what was that you were seeing?
It was a pretty chaotic. I mean, probably the classroom. It was a chaotic classroom, and I mean, the students were not paying attention, and even the group discussion didn't happen the way she projected or anticipated. So it didn't work out in her manner. Whatever she had predicted, it didn't work out. So as a result, the teacher came with her own interpretation that the owner should not be given to the students. That's what I feel, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I add on, ma'am? Can I add on, ma'am?
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, it's a sconce theory, ma'am, of reflection
Okay.
in action.
Very
Then
good.
and there act
Reflection
immediately.
on action. Very good. Yes.
It's an
That's
act
good.
immediately, ma'am. So educator has taken the change in their reflection strategy. Then and there, the facilitator has taken an action that the ownership should not be given to the children.
Yes. So now you got it. You have the stages. So if it is related, your observation of your class, if it is related to the outcome that you are expecting, then you go ahead with the changed strategy. Otherwise, you modify your strategy, right? Right. Please understand this part where you will be giving your onus. It's based on your observation. Okay. It is purely based on your observation and later reflecting. Veena ma'am, yes ma'am, you can share. You can share.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Because this format is very, very important. Please understand, because this is the way you will be writing your reflection.
Ma'am,
Okay.
are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
able to see, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So this is not a very recent happening. This happened a little while earlier. I'm relating that what I did was reflective cycle. I would like to tell you that also, ma'am. It is during a practical demonstration of reflection of light where children prove a simple theory of angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. So I wanted the children to practically prove it. So I had given them all the apparatus to do it practically. And then after revising the definition of angle of incidence, I asked them to mark the angle of incidence on the paper. So I had given them an angle of 40 degrees, and I saw all children had, a few of them, set of students, had marked an angle of 50 degrees. So I was like, how come a simple marking of angle these children are not following? They are in grade 8. This was my first reaction actually. Then when I was going around checking, it was a group of 20 students. So when I was going around checking, suddenly I analyzed probably they do not know the basic difference of complementary supplementary angles, where complementary angle 40 plus 50 is
Here
equal
actually,
to.
no ma'am,
And also the thing is
just a
they,
minute, Veena
yeah,
ma'am. Here,
yes,
what
ma'am.
was good about it is it was not that you were able to analyze the mistake. Analysis comes afterward.
Okay.
Here, it should be related to, okay, that you were, okay, feeling better that they made it in the practical demo that you are showing.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Okay.
The weightage is,
Okay.
if it was
Yes.
more on the exam part of it, the students would have suffered more.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So,
Your
and
analysis
also,
comes in the analysis part of it.
okay. Okay. So, okay, ma'am.
Now, bad is because of this lack, their understanding, the total experiment had to be redone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Okay.
will
Okay.
be.
This
Yeah.
also comes under analysis.
Analysis.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I got it. So from the next class, whenever I do this practical demo, initially a day prior, or I give them some task of learning these things, these mathematical concepts and coming, or the very day of the practicals on the board, I draw it. The first 3 minutes, I revise those, tell them how to draw, and then start with the practicals.
So that should
This
come
is-
under, please go down, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That should come under conclusion. Very good. Right. Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So action plan will be you're revising about. Conclusion is I need to get them revise there or have a activity which helps them revise. An action plan is you will be asking them to first or a worksheet or a a pre-class checking up diagnostic assessment you will be carrying out.
Okay.
You got it, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You will not be differentiating this much, but I'm just giving you for your understanding.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Chaitanya, can you? Now I would like you, all of you, to evaluate her. Okay, yes, Chaitanya.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think it's sorry, sorry, Chaitanya. Alicia, you are in the line. Yeah, sorry, Chaitanya. Yeah.
Yes. Ma'am, here is my reflective cycle, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was teaching this fantasy story, the elements and all, the Hansel and the Gretel story, I divided my children into few groups, and we were discussing like what is the thing and all. And one group came up like, "Ma'am, it is not the evil point. The evil point is about the witch." Whereas one team came up like, "Ma'am, it is not the evil point. The stepmother throwing the children in the forest, leaving them in the forest is the evil point." So I was like, I stopped for a moment. Yeah. So the children moral.
Alicia, you continue. You just show us this one, just to give us this was the feeling that you tell. I would like others to pitch in.
Sure, ma'am. So I felt bad and sad. Children were sad about the situation of the kids in the story. That's what I felt that moment.
Evaluation.
Yes, ma'am. I was able to understand the moral level of my children, and I plan to teach. The difference between. They were able to achieve the treasure only because the stepmother was, left them in the forest. So from negative, I was trying to take them to the positive note, and it took me really long time to get them convinced at this point. And I analyzed that I should plan some pre-discussions about emotions also before getting into the stories of this kind.
Okay.
So, and even I came to a conclusion that I should improve on my motivational, approaches to balance the emotional levels of the children, ma'am. And action plan, I will actually wanted to show some videos, discuss about, more these kind of bad situations, how they succeeded and all that I thought at this point, ma'am.
Okay, so someone can review this based on the input that I've given. Anyone can review. Please. I've shown you two, so I would like others to pitch in. No one has any issue. Yes. No one has? My God.
Ma'am, here the feeling should be. Can I answer, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Here the feelings the children were sad about the situation of the kids. It is related to the particular story and not in general to the teaching. That is what I felt, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Children were sad about the situation. That is true, ma'am. Veena, ma'am. That this should be related to your experience, not the kids' experience.
I like that is like explanation, ma'am. I felt bad and sad. That is why I felt bad and sad is Because children were sad about it, I gave little explanation about my feeling.
Okay. Something crucial is missing.
May I, ma'am?
Huh?
May I?
Yes,
Interrupt? Yes.
Manjari. Yes, Manjari.
Like I didn't understand. I was able to understand the moral level of my children. Now, moral level, in the sense, it's a very like it's a vast. It's a quite a bit. Like what exactly moral level of my children?
Okay, it's a very vast area.
It's a vast
You should
area.
be very specific.
Exactly.
Yes, Veena ma'am, right. The grade is not mentioned. Remember, whatever you're writing, the age group of the kids is very, very important. In your description, you totally missed first part is your grade. Yes, in the feelings, you're writing about the children, but remember, it is not about the lesson. It is about your teaching. Okay? It is about your teaching. Now, you felt bad and sad, then oh, what were you thinking? Why the kids were not able to understand? That will be the first thought that is coming into your mind. Okay, why were the kids not able to understand? So when you're evaluating, what is that you're evaluating? It's not about the moral level. It is about the story. Okay, what about the story was good that the students took it in the emotional level? What about the story went wrong that they were not able to understand the aspect that you were trying to drive? Remember, everything is about the outcome. Okay, your focus should be on the outcome, not about the concept that you're or the story's essence that you're driving. You wanted to convert that challenges will make you more strong. But why did that outcome not come? That should be your evaluation. Yes. Next analysis part. Anything has gone wrong? What was analysis conclusion?
I should improve. Yeah.
Yes, please go on.
I should improve on the motivation and the emotion balance of children. Now, I
Yeah.
feel that it has nothing to do with motivation, ma'am. Because motivation is something, this particular lesson has nothing to do, to do with motivational factor, what I feel. Yes, emotional balance, obviously, few children may feel good about it, few children may feel bad about it, but that is their perspective to do with the lesson, but nothing about their emotional factor, what I feel.
Yes. So what can be the conclusion that she has to draw or no? Alicia, you will have to think. That's what I said. You fix your outcome, what you want to achieve. When you fix your outcome, your evaluation automatically changes because you're focusing on bringing an understanding about challenges.
Yes.
Isn't it? So that means your evaluation also should be on how I can bring about that change in your classes. Your videos and stories over not good over bad about hardships can bring about a change. People understanding about know how they have undergone different challenges and succeeded in life. Okay, that can bring about, yes, videos only you will have to show because there is no other go about it or tell stories about that, right? Yes. So that way you can bring about a change in your classrooms. Yes. Okay. I know it will take a little time, so don't feel bad that first time itself I have not succeeded. It is not going to succeed. Please understand it takes a lot of time to get into the reflective practice, and over time only you will be able to understand. Yes, Chaitanya.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll stop after Kushi because we will have still more that we will be discussing. Grade 7.
Ma'am, this is a situation in grade 7, ma'am. Description, what happened in the classes when discussing about the energy stored in the cell. learners were not able to answer which part of the cell involves in this function. Actually, this is a topic which I am going to discuss in the classes connected to the previous topic, actually, the structure of the cell and all. But what happened is, after completing a complete description of what is the structure of the cell and the parts and functions of all the cell organelles and all, in the next class, while checking the prior knowledge, the children are not able to answer which cell organelle will store the energy in the cell. So the feelings is, I'm very disappointed at that time, because gradually 1 week we have discussed about this, and they have made some charts and all. They have labeled everything. I didn't show any video, but they made one chart, and nicely they have labeled all the parts and all. So I felt very disappointed after children put lot of effort at that time, even though they are not able to answer a simple question in the while checking the prior knowledge and evaluation. What was good and bad about the experience? Good, that early point of the lesson, I understood learners are not confident in that concept which was previously taught. Bad, that I couldn't make them confident by my teaching strategy earlier. And analysis, what sense can you make of the experience? I could have used the video while teaching about the structure of the cell, so that they can remember well, instead of making them to make the charts and all. Might be that strategy doesn't work with them. Conclusion, what do you need to improve on? I should make sure that the learners are confident with the topic dealt with and then move to the next topic. So my action plan, what I felt was like a continuous assessment in the class while that particular topic is in going on, make me understand whether they are up to the mark or not, so that if they are not, I can work more on that then and there, instead of after the topic is done, instead of feeling bad that they are not able to answer the simple question. Before itself, if I could have conducted continuous assessment while that particular topic is going on, so I will be able to understand at that time. So by continuous assessment in the class and by showing more visual aids, I can make them better understand about that particular topic. This is how my action plan could be. I felt like that, ma'am.
I just want to ask an open question to, okay, don't change, keep it like that. Just can you enlarge it down? There is a bar in the blue one. Blue line, can you just zoom it?
Where, ma'am?
Blue, in your Word document, don't change, don't scroll the Word document. Come down, no? Not that cursor. In your document, down there is a blue line, isn't it?
Okay, yes, ma'am. Task.
Yeah, can you just taskbar increase it? Can anyone think, see, for example, I just had a misunderstanding. Only after Chaitanya explained, I really got it. Can please go up, no, show the first one. Yeah. I just want to know how many of you misunderstood in the same way. Anyone, any other perspectives you have got? Any other perspectives? No? No one got?
Maybe if I'm right or wrong, ma'am, maybe she was talking about like what we misunderstood as if you're talking about the mobile or some. No.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am, because I understood as a battery set.
Okay. That's what.
See, discussing about energy stored in the cell. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Understood, Chaitanya?
Actually, as a science teacher,
science only. I am also a science person, but just imagine energy stored in the cell, and you wrote class 7 also.
Yes, ma'am. Like in the animal cell or plant cell, I could have mentioned, but
yeah, it should have been clearly mentioned biology.
Yes, ma'am, while writing.
Okay,
I
yeah.
missed it.
Yeah. Now, what else did others have problem with? Can you just have a quick?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, Sharmila.
Here, this analysis part, I feel little bit confused. Like, is the analysis generally when we are writing, we have to like analysis of the student situation there, or we have to come out with some conclusion over there. So I'm just
No,
getting
it
doubt in
should
that.
be from your perspective, not from the student situation.
So I have
From
to.
what your students did,
Hmm.
what is that you understand about that situation? Okay. Yeah. See, for example, the second part of it, can you just scroll up a little bit? Yeah. Feelings. I am disappointed, you have written. I was disappointed. Fine. I was disappointed for what? Chaitanya, got it?
Disappointed about like um, even though the topic is done, like after
You did not write that. That's what I'm saying. See, when you're reflecting, I
Okay,
know when
okay.
you're speaking, you can speak. But remember, an examiner is going to understand what you have written.
Okay,
You
ma'am.
understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next one is evaluation. What was good and bad about the experience? Good, that early point of the lesson, I understood the learners are not confident in the concept. Which concept? Remember, you have to be specific. And is it now here again, everyone I've noticed writing that about everyone. I don't think so. Your entire class will have the problem. There will be very few learners who would have not have understood that concept. So why did that learners not understand that concept? Where exactly you've gone wrong? That part must be mentioned. Clear?
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Confident is a very large word. Okay, be specific. I couldn't make them what about the lesson? Don't use the word confident. Remember, confident
Yes,
is an
ma'am.
attribute that you will try to achieve in your unit 3. Now, I want you to go to specifics. Remember, it's all about detailing, very small things that you're going to mention. What is that you feel that your learners have not? Be very specific. I saw my learners do this. I understood that they have not understood this part because I did not re-emphasis on those concepts. It has to be that specific. Understood? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I could have used a video, right? Analysis is not I could have used a video. Analysis is I saw my learners do this. That means that they have not got this concept. Okay. That means I should use some other strategy. Name that strategy in the class. Conclusion is henceforth during these topics, I will be using so and so video. Action plan is I will prepare a video after my class or before my class and show them, ask questions on them and then move forward. Something like that.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes?
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I had one question, ma'am, for that.
Yes, please. Yes.
Ma'am, I have written the topic on balancing equations for grade 7, ma'am. In that feelings, what were you thinking and feeling? So, ma'am, is it before the lesson, during the lesson, and after because I have written, I just wanted to know if it is correct or not. I have mentioned before the lesson, I was confident and excited because I like the concept and I was confident that I will also be able to give my 100% and make everyone confident about the topic, that is balancing equations, and everybody will be clear about it. But during the lesson, I was feeling concerned as I could not make everyone clear with the concept since the students were getting confused. So will that be okay or am I wrong anywhere, ma'am?
Now, when we were talking of reflection theories, we considered only two parts. One was during and one is after the lesson. Before the lesson, we will always be confident because we will think that the plan that we have done is going to work out. But during the lesson, during the lesson, it is going to be difficult because that is when you really find the action that is actually happening in the class.
Yes, yes.
After, what happens is you will know whether your teaching has actually reached the student or not. Then you will do the in-depth reflection.
Yes.
So before, generally, we don't take it into consideration. We take it only during and after.
Okay. So I have put during only, ma'am. I have put before and during. Later on.
Not before. Before you should not be considering.
Okay,
that
I should not be. Okay, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Kushi, can you? Because
Yeah,
after Kushi, I said I'll stop because Parveen, you have a question, you can ask me once Kushi has shared.
yeah, I have taken the topic which was done recently only, ma'am. It was like teaching on adjectives. So I thought it was a grade 3 class. So I taught a lesson on adjectives of grade 3 students, and the lesson included a brief introduction of adjectives with a small hands-on activity. So initially, like when ongoing, like after this activity, I was like I had mixed feeling of nervousness and also anticipation, especially like when I was observing the students, how they will grasp the concept. Because I have planned it, but a little bit nervous I was. And while evaluating, the students were enthusiastic because whenever we do an hands-on activity, their participation will be like they will show enthusiasm. So many were able to do, like when we are doing the textbook exercises, many were able to do them the exercises, but there were some who were struggling to identify the adjective from the other parts like noun and verbs. They were not able to identify which word is exactly the adjective. Then like analysis, what I felt like a hands-on activity was effective because that is a bitwise. Like I gave a knife, like how it will be sharp, and then I gave a leaf soft like that. So demonstrating was good. It went in nicely, but the lesson could have included more practice opportunities which can explanation how adjectives differ from other parts of the speech, because they were not able to identify from the all parts of the speech. So I thought I would have given a clear introduction of from the parts of the speech. Then conclusion was like I provided clear definition and additional practice opportunities might help the students better understand and apply the adjectives. Application plan going forward, like I shall plan to incorporate more varied activities and exercises that focus on adjectives. Like sentences is a main thing, like words they are able to identify, but in the sentence it's difficult. So such as adjectives, scavenger hands or games. And also I'll consider breaking down the concept into smaller, more manageable parts and providing additional support for the students.
It's very good actually. Now, little bit, can you just take up? Yours has come out very nicely. Only part is, see, some students were struggling with identifying adjectives from other parts of the speech should also come in what you were thinking. You have
feelings.
You've seen that most of the students were grasping, but some of them were struggling in identifying adjectives.
Yes.
So during your evaluation, you will have to now write about for these students where exactly the struggle is happening.
Okay, in doing the textbook exercises while reading the sentences, matching they are able to do it because there is single
It's not about matching or it's not about the activity. It is about how are they analyzing or how are they looking at adjectives? See, when you're talking about a grammatical concept, whether the child is able to know that this word is an adjective, that is what we are looking at, isn't it?
Correct.
So where exactly, now you will have to go into that area and say that the child is not able to identify the describing word. Okay. So that identification is what you will be writing in eval. I'm just giving you an example. I don't know what is the student's issue, but if that is the issue, then that will be coming under evaluation.
Okay.
Okay. See, when we are looking at evaluations, it can be also based on students' background. Sometimes the child may be a new student. Sometimes the child would have been absent for the previous classes. So the connection is missing. So all these areas you will have to consider when you are reflecting. Yes, when you are reflecting.
Okay.
Yes, Parveen, you have any queries? You have any queries?
No,
Remember,
ma'am.
reflective journal is totally yours. Okay, you need not share it with anyone. Reflective journal and journal writing is totally yours. You can include the students' names also when you are writing in your reflective journals. But now I'm not promoting it because now you're showing it to me. We do not want individual names out. Any queries you have, please do ask.
In this regard, I just wanted to ask, like maybe giving few more examples also would have, helped the child to clarify about adjectives, like giving few more examples. So this also could be one of the reflective, like I was not able to give examples while
Yes,
demonstrating.
you can. You
So
can.
I could have given few more examples to make the child
Yes.
understand better the concept
Yes.
adjective. Okay, so that also.
That also can be.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's totally based on the teacher and the students. Okay. Now you remember I asked you few questions in the beginning. Yes.
Yes.
Now I want you to again think on the questions about teacher reflective practice. What does trust have to do with this? What is that responsive teaching overcoming biases? Where will you incorporate classroom democracy? And why do you think teacher comfortness during her classes is a hindrance towards reflection? Now you have completed actually the workout action plan also. Now you think and reflect on these areas. Why are these areas so important? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, anyone is speaking?
Yes, ma'am. It was me, ma'am.
Yes, but
Sorry to disturb you, ma'am.
no, please continue. I was asking you whether you have any doubts.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
yeah.
No, actually, ma'am, just to cross check my plan, ma'am. Just can you give us? Can you give like a relevant example?
Relevant example, okay.
Yeah, that from your end, ma'am.
What you can do is mail it to me today evening. Those who are having separately, you mail it. I will check. Or if it's a Google Doc, also no issue. If you can send it today evening, I will verify it and post my comments on how exactly it can be. Okay. So
Okay,
if
ma'am.
you have further doubts, you can mail it to me. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Now this question, can you just get back with the answers? Because I told you that keep it back. We will get back to the question. Okay. About teacher reflective practices. How is trust important in the classroom? What is meant by responsive teaching to overcome biases? What is meant by classroom democracy? And why should a teacher not be comfortable when teaching in her teaching practices? Please think and answer. Now that you have gone through all the reflective strategies, reflective theories, now these are all reflective theories. Can you think and answer? I'll just give you the common misconceptions also when you're doing reflection. This is there in the document you can do. It does not directly impact my teaching if I think about things after what I have done. Okay. Yes, these are all common misconceptions. Reflections take too long. I do not have the time. Reflection is only focused on me. It does not directly affect my students. Reflection is a negative process. Reflection is a solo process. So how will I know I have improved? These are all some misconceptions. But if you are answering the questions that I have asked, you will be overcoming all these misconceptions. Still thinking?
Yes. Ma'am, the trust is to do with the student, like how the student, they are able to trust us. Like, is that the question, ma'am?
Yeah, how exactly will you be going ahead with reflective practices in your teaching?
Yeah.
Okay, with trust in your classroom, with classroom democracy.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
responsive teaching.
Okay, so I would like to give an example. While I was teaching, in fact, in one of the grades, from a past experience, I'm telling you this, ma'am. So over here, we generally use the word like tortoise, 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 but actually it's tortoise. Okay, so when I was actually explaining a poem, so over there, one of the students, in fact, got up and asked me, ma'am, it's not a tortoise, it's tortoise. Okay. So then I was taken aback and I told the child, in fact, it's tortoise, but the child did not have that kind of trust or faith. So to be able to, explain and make it a democratic classroom, I didn't want to show the child or condensate the child. So immediately what I did, I Googled in front of the child and I told the child, see, this is the correct, what do you think about the pronunciation? So that's what rather than, telling the child, no, what I'm telling is correct, that would have been the authoritative, like I am the, it's a teacher centric. So I gave the child to explore and research and come back to me. So this could be the trust example.
Trust example. Okay, that means the teacher, I'm sorry, the child will now start trusting Google instead of you, right?
No, not the Google. The child is going to trust because see, initially the child had that trust issue. The child was not able to trust. Okay, because
you're
the
saying
moment
in terms of phonetics, right?
in terms of phonetics, when I told the child, no, it's tortoise, it's not tortoise, the child was not able to trust me. Okay, so then I told the child, why don't you research?
Right.
Why don't you research? And at the same time, I took my tab and I showed the child, what do you feel about it? I didn't tell him, see, this is the correct pronunciation. I just asked the child, what do you feel about it? And in fact, the child heard it and the child told, yes, ma'am, I understood now.
Right. Okay, ma'am. That is one perspective. Very true.
Okay.
That's one perspective.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Any other? Yes, ma'am. Neelam.
Ma'am, I would like to talk about teacher should not get comfortable in her teaching. So the thing is, like in my case, I thought I planned my lesson plan very well. I have taught that concept. Teacher will, students will understand. I was very concept in my teaching strategy. But it is only when I asked them the question, I realized that something went wrong. So if I am confident and I don't ask myself the question where I went wrong, and I'm very comfortable about that my teaching is perfect and this is how I'm going to teach, I will not be able to make the children understand or improve my teaching strategies.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Okay.
So
a
for
simple,
that,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for that I have to have a reflective journal or a reflective practice where when I'm trying to teach a concept, did I achieve what I wanted to achieve? Whether what I did in the classroom was justified, whether it is good or bad. So that reflection should be there to judge my teaching instead of if I'm comfortable, I will not reflect.
Right. Now I'll give you a simple example that one you gave me. Okay, Veena ma'am's plan was on, remember, angle of incidence. Was it her job to teach how to keep the protractor and measure the angle? Then why did she do it?
Because it was related to her topic.
Right. Now, instead, no, Veena ma'am can go and tell the maths teacher of the previous class, you did not teach anything. What would have happened?
Time consuming.
Is it time consuming? It's a simple way, isn't it? Now, next time when you teach, no, you see that where they have to keep the protractor, you will have to teach them. It's a waste of my time. That will be the argument going on. But is it really the previous teacher's fault?
No.
Yes.
No.
No. So now when we take it up and no, when the child is no, I definitely think that no, she would have understood when the child would have kept the protractor or no, measured it in the anti-clockwise direction, not in the clockwise direction, right? Now that measurement that the child has taken, she understood. Now remember, it was the trust of that child to show the teacher that this is the way I measure my angle, made her realize. Now, instead, if you then and there burst out to the child, did you not learn how to keep the protractor and measure? Should we measure it in this way? We should measure it from the center. If you have done it in that way, that would have caused a negative impact. Instead, we realizing, oh, this is the way that the child has understood. Now let me show them how it has to be. Where you have to take your baseline. This part, no, you teach the child there. Okay, the child is able to trust you to come with more faults of what he has learned. Okay, whatever learning gap that we say has developed, they'll be ready to display. Otherwise, it will be quiet in the class and learning will not happen. So trust is not only from the academic front, from the non-academic front also it should happen. When the child is coming out of the class, ma'am, I did not want to tell it in front of my friends, but no, I did not understand this. Okay, even there, no, the child has the trust with you and no, it's coming, he or she is coming and talking with you. That is where you will be developing that trust factor. Okay, yes, Preeti ma'am.
Ma'am, here I feel what you have just told us about this. Here, actually, we are building relationships, ma'am. We are creating that particular rapport. So it is not
Yes.
always the subject. As you told, like, it was not that particular teacher's job to teach those concepts where already she is in the pressure that she has to teach and she has to finish. But here we are making our work easier by building that rapport and being approachable. And then the child can come up to us and irrespective of later on also when the child has any particular issue, she will never have that thing in her mind that yes, I can go to the teacher without any hesitations, and then it becomes a very good transaction also between the teacher as well as the student in future
Yes.
too.
And when you're doing that, remember, it is not that you're benefiting the child, you're benefiting yourself also,
Yes,
because you're
correct.
reflecting.
Correct.
So next time when you are teaching in the class, because you're already experienced, what will you do? You will say that, I know some of you will have this doubt. Now don't take your angle from here. You take it from here. Remember? Now that is how your teaching improves. Now what happens if you're comfortable? You will know that they will be doing, they'll be doing, they'll be doing. Finally, in the exam, no one will see them. Yes?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So even I wanted to, in fact, ask you one thing. Sometimes even the children, they challenge us.
Yes.
Yes, they challenge us. And at the time, ma'am, if we are able to show them a document or any kind of proof, that you think that also comes under the democracy?
Yes, definitely. See, if you have challenging students, who are having the potential to challenge you,
absolutely
take it, because you will grow. You will grow.
Okay.
And always know the extremities of students actually help the teacher grow. The brightest and the dullest will help you grow, but in two different directions. You will become a vast teacher with a dull student. You will become a more developed or a more prominent teacher with a bright student. And these two qualities make you a more better teacher. And when we are talking of classroom democracy, remember the democracy, most of your parent concerns as leaders we are facing because the classroom democracy does not happen. It is not about treating everyone equally. It is about giving an opportunity to question the teacher in any format. Okay, it can be in any form. We say that in classrooms, it is a protective environment where all taboos should be allowed to be answered. Okay, when you're teaching a concept, when a child is talking about something irrelevant also, how you are able to manipulate or bring them back to the class, okay, in a very conducive manner that the child doesn't get hurt. That is where your classroom democracy comes. It is about everyone participating. It is about engaging everyone. Yes, Veena ma'am?
Ma'am, I would also like to add on this classroom democracy only. When we talk about classroom democracy, when children come up with ideas like how Manjari ma'am told, or children come up with a new method of learning something or teaching something, it is always good to tell the children, oh, I didn't know this existed. This is very interesting. When we tell that, the children get the feeling that teacher is also learning from me. That is classroom democracy. So when the child knows that the teacher is also learning from them, they are very, very open and they give the feedback, which is what we ultimately want for a reflective practice.
I think I missed my giving you a second break. Okay, just 15 more minutes, bear with me. There is a video. I would like you can just mute yourself and watch this video. Okay, this is much related to the questions that I've asked. Okay, then we will have a discussion on this. Manjari ma'am, you wanted to share something?
Yes, I wanted to share, ma'am, in fact, something the other day while I was teaching in the class. So this particular formula, like it's an English, lesson. It's about Einstein. So E is equal to MC square, So when the child, in fact, being an English teacher, obviously, ma'am, we do not know much about the concept. So one of the students, very bright students, he came up here and he told me, ma'am, can I explain it in detail if it is okay with you? So I was like, yes, because in being an English teacher, even I would like to know more about the particular concept. And believe me, ma'am, the kind of respect I have gained, because I told I'm not very aware of this concept. So please go ahead and explain. So though it was not a part of my lesson, because I was just teaching them about Albert Einstein, but still the child took it in a very different level and it became a very, productive classroom. And the children also, they loved, learning the concept from that bright child. So is this also the classroom democracy? Sometimes we can do that, I guess, when the child knows more
that comes under the concept of reciprocal teaching. Reciprocal
yes.
teaching. Okay, yeah. So no, you can allow the child also to teach us. Okay.
Ma'am, flipped classes is one of the way actually normally we use this, ma'am. Flipped class, where we give the child the complete ownership to come up with the topics that and teach, and they don't stick to the book completely. They will do more research, because we tell them it is not only the textbook that we follow. You have to do a research, and we'll see how much you can go through the topic and help us to learn, because I will also be able to learn a lot from you all.
When you're reflecting, also remember, when you're giving presentations, you will have to mention that. One of the students, I was surprised to see one of the students coming up with this idea of, no, that also can be your reflection. That also can be your reflection. Need not be always the negative part that you take it in reflection. Okay.
Virtually all great people who've been successful in any field have possessed growth mindset qualities. But how can you develop them in yourself? Step 1. Learn to hear your fixed mindset voice. When faced with a new challenge, the voice might say, "Are you sure you can do it? Maybe you don't have the talent." But what if you fail? You'll be a failure. People will laugh at you for even thinking you had talent. If you don't try, you can protect yourself and keep your dignity. When you hit a setback, the voice might say, "This would have been a snap if you'd really had talent. You see, I told you it was a risk. Now you've shown the world how limited you are." It's not too late to back out, make excuses, and try to regain your dignity. As you face criticism, you might hear yourself say, "It's not my fault. It was something or someone else's fault." Constructive feedback might make you feel angry at the person who's giving you feedback. Who do they think they are? I'll put them in their place. Even if the feedback is specific and very constructive, you might just hear, "I'm really disappointed in you. I thought you were capable, but now I see you're not." Recognizing that you have a choice. How you interpret challenges, setbacks, and criticism is your choice and yours alone. You can interpret them in a fixed mindset as signs that your talent or abilities are lacking, or in a growth mindset as signs that you need to ramp up your strategies and effort, stretch yourself, and expand your abilities. It's up to you. So as you face challenges, setbacks, and criticism, hear the fixed mindset voice and Step 3. Talk back to it with a growth mindset voice. As you approach a challenge, the fixed mindset says, "Are you sure you can do it? Maybe you don't have the talent." The growth mindset answers, "I'm not sure I can do it now, but I think I can learn to with time and effort." Fixed mindset, "But what if you fail? You'll be a failure." Growth mindset, "Most successful people fail somewhere along the way to success." Fixed mindset, "If you don't try, you can protect yourself and keep your dignity." Growth mindset, "If I don't try, I automatically fail. Where's the dignity in that?" When you hit a setback, fixed mindset, "This would have been a snap if you really had talent." Growth mindset, "That is so wrong. Basketball wasn't easy for Michael Jordan, and science wasn't easy for Thomas Edison or Albert Einstein. They had a passion and put in tons of effort." As you face criticism, fixed mindset, "It's not my fault. It was something or someone else's fault." Growth mindset, "If I don't take responsibility, I can't fix it. Let me listen, however painful it is, and learn whatever I can." Then, Step 4. Take the growth mindset action. Over time, which voice you listen to becomes entirely your choice. Whether you take on the challenge wholeheartedly, learn from your setbacks and try again, or hear the feedback and act on it. Success is now in your hands. If you focus on process, do your best, and enjoy it.
So in order to be reflective, what type of mindset should you have?
Growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Growth mindset. So now I think I've already shared this mindset in education. Yes, Alicia, you would like to share something? Please read through this article, Mindset in Education.
Yeah, ma'am, the same thing which you are asking the question
Okay,
about the
question.
growth mindset and the fixed mindset.
Yeah. Now remember, you will never be in your comfort position if you are in your growth mindset.
Yes.
All of you got the article, that Mindset in Education?
Yes.
Tehseen ma'am, you have got it? Tehseen, yeah, got it, okay. Right.
She said yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it because I'm searching for her. Yeah, got it. Yeah, you can share what are your thoughts in the chat box as you are reading it. Okay. High achievement, right? Failures as opportunities for learning and development, right? Achieve based on actions, okay. Mindset, right? There is one important point that I am looking for. That is why I didn't tell it also. If I ask the question, you will put it. Able to take criticism from students. Very good. Okay. Dedication, effort, and learning. Okay. Yes. Effort, dedication, and persistence. Right. Growth mindset focuses on assessment for learning rather than assessment of learning. Very good. Yes, it focuses. Very true. Growth mindset, learning strategies, support. Okay. New experiences. Responsibility for our action that happens with the growth mindset. Okay. Ready to take challenges. Yes. Better than before. Embracing challenges. Yes, I see. Self-awareness. Okay. Okay. Remember, you will have to take feedback also when you are presenting your lessons for Unit 2, Unit 3. You will have to collect feedback from your students in whatever way you want. Okay. Enhance learning. How can you develop growth mindset? That is my question. As adults, as teachers, how can you develop growth mindset? There were 4 steps given, but all of them are related to one particular word that is in this document. Open-minded, okay. Inherent abilities, growth, SWOT analysis, okay. Setbacks, positive thinking, okay. How can you develop? For all this, you need that one word. What is that? It's 2 words, but that is the only thing that is required. Adaptability, acceptability, normalize mistakes, critical reflection. For all this, ma'am, all this, you need only that.
Self-reflection?
Yes.
Self-reflection?
Self-reflection. When will you self-reflect? Resilience, okay. It's there in the document.
Thinking.
Yes.
Reflective thinking.
Reflective thinking. When will you think reflectively?
When it comes.
I think someone actually told also, but it's not exact word, told why we will be dealing this again when we are doing our Unit 1. Okay, but I would like to know why exactly all of you are in this course. Did someone force you? What was that you wanted to become better? That will be the answer, I know. But okay, what made you think that you should be better? What made you think? Professional growth, okay. Okay.
So all about critical thinking, ma'am, to adapt to the new, different
I think already that word has come up. Critical thinking, critical reflection. Why do you do all this?
Become dynamic, ma'am.
Become dynamic. Let us not look in external, it's internal.
Maybe self-confident to boost our confidence.
Confidence, I told. Ma'am, educator, ma'am.
When will you do all this? Yes, Parveen ma'am?
Educator, ma'am. Efficient educator.
Efficient educator. Is someone rating you? Wow, thank you, Veena ma'am. You have got it. Intrinsic motivation to accept challenges. Okay. No one needs to come and tell you to do this. Okay. It is everything that we do to ourselves that is our intrinsic motivation. Okay. We'll be dealing with this when we are dealing with our unit 1 about intrinsic motivation. But it is finally that intrinsic motivation that actually helps us become better. And if you're intrinsically motivated, you will have a growth mindset. If you're having growth mindset, you will reflect every instance and you will start analyzing every instance that is happening around you on how I can become better. So remember, you all should be intrinsically motivated throughout this course, okay, because there will be a lot of feedback coming. Okay, so you will have to be intrinsically motivated, and because finally you will get your certificate. That's an extrinsic one, but intrinsically, if you're motivated, then only you will be achieving the challenge. Okay, and if you're intrinsically motivated, your class will become better and better and better. It will be improving every time that you step into the class, and every time you step into the class now onwards, please do ask your students the feedback, okay, on how your class was, where they found it difficult, even to the last child, where they found it difficult. And remember, your classroom democracy will be in place, and every student will become a champion on as per what is the name of the person. Every child is a champion. Remember? Don't know? Yes. Every child is a champion. Rita Pearson, please watch her TED Talk. Okay, Rita Pearson's TED Talk, it's very, very famous. Okay, please do watch it. Okay, every child is a champion. Okay, so your homework for this week is practice reflective cycle. Next week, I'll show you how the assignments are rated, because next week, please do be present, because with your documents and your laptop, because you will be working with references, and references is very important. How to do referencing, because Cambridge is very particular and sometimes they fail candidates if your referencing is not appropriate. So we will be practicing referencing next week. Okay, how to go about doing referencing and how exactly you will be writing your academic writing, your evidence of learning and evidence of reflection, how you will be writing, we will be doing that practice. Okay, so your homework is practice on the reflective cycle of one of your class, share it with your mentor and collect the feedback, and any questions or clarifications you have, please do ask now, or you can post it also separately to me in case you have any questions or clarification. So that we have come to the end of today's session. Any queries you have, please let me know. Your feedback form will be shared in the group. You please do post your feedback. Remember, your feedback is also going to be taken into consideration every time that you participate. Okay. And I can modify my classes as per the feedback that you're providing. And I'm really sorry that I forgot that 5-minute second break. Yes, yeah. Any questions you have? Any questions?
Feedback shared in the WhatsApp group. So I request you to all please do the needful.
Any questions or queries you have? I know that it is going to be difficult this week. Try and practice a reflective cycle, and so that you can ask questions to me next week. Next week, I'm keeping it light so that we can have lots of questions on reflective cycle. Yes, Neela.
Ma'am, regarding this homework, like how do we go about it? Like, do we have to write the reflective journal what you gave?
Yes, reflective. What you do is initial reflective journal will be based on your Gibbs cycle that I've given, that format you adopt. Okay. After 4 or 5 times, you will be familiar with the cycle, isn't it? Then you can write it as a narrative paragraph. In your assignments, you're not going to write part. Okay. You will write it as a paragraph. But in order to have that practice, now split it up and write it so that you can later write it as a narrative paragraph. Okay. Yeah. And remember your reflective journal writing, in case you're planning to go for your diploma, journal writing is very, very important. Okay. You will have to submit the evidences of your journal writing to Cambridge. Okay.
And our mentor, they are going to write it over there, their comments about this reflective.
No.
Okay.
It is purely your journal.
Okay.
Your mentor will not be commenting anything on that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
No, today it was a bit silent. I understood it was heavy. That's the reason I said next week also it will be a little bit heavy, but I'll keep it on the lighter end so that you can ask a lot of questions. Whatever you have this week also do practice, because all your questions will not come if you're not practicing. You will get a lot of questions only if you're practicing. Trial you do, then you will get a lot of questions coming up. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Neelam.
Ma'am, sorry to again ask you, whatever we are writing our journal, can we share with you for feedback to know?
No need, not now. See, if you are in your module 2, module 3, yes, definitely I'll take it. But now it's not required. Now it's not required because this is only for your evidence of learning and reflection. Okay. But have a practice of scribbling something about your class after every period. Yes. So that no, you will have that habit of writing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. If no other queries, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.